You know, the funny thing about minimalism is that the more you apply the philosophy to your life of minimalism, the more you maximize your experiences in life. It's one of those weird less is more, addition by subtraction type things. So continuing in the minimalism series, if you're not familiar with the term, minimalism in its most basic form is the constant promotion of the things we value most and the constant removal of the things that distract us from it. So in this video, I would like to share with you 7 unexpected ways that a minimalist lifestyle has changed my life, and when applied, will help you change yours as well. When items and possessions no longer become seen as things to collect, and instead are seen as things to contribute to your life and your values, you begin to question everything you purchase, and you begin to question everything you own. Does this serve a purpose? Does this contribute to something I value? Is this the best way to contribute to something that I value? Or is this purchase or my urge to buy a new pair of shoes or a new outfit just me trying to fill a void in a different area of my life, but doesn't actually contribute to making me happier? You may look around your house and be like, does this thing I own actually have a purpose? Or is it just meaningless clutter that lays in my closet or sits in the corner of the room collecting dust, taking up space, both mentally and physically? The thing to realize is that clutter actually distracts you from the things that you value most in life. So for example, if you have 200 possessions in your house and only 50 of those possessions are actually meaningful to you, things that you value, those other 150 possessions aren't just sitting idly by not having an impact on your life. They do. Those other items distract you from your relationship and the importance and the priority you have on those other items. So by going through your house and really categorizing things as important, valuable, things that I appreciate, things that bring meaning to me, from the things that are just clutter, it actually improves your relationship with the things that you actually value. Have you ever been out at a social event and you're there, like you're sitting there at the place, and then you think to yourself, what am I doing here? I'm not having fun, I don't enjoy myself, and I know I don't enjoy myself here. I'm going home. So you go home, but you didn't identify what caused you to be there in the first place. So you say, I'm never coming back. But then a month later, you're back at the same place with the same people saying the same thing. What am I doing here? That's self-awareness. So because minimalism is about living a life of intention, you'll start to acknowledge what's living inside of you. And not to get all deep in stuff here, but when I say what's living inside of you, I mean the things that develop and change in your heart and in your mind. You know, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your motives, your desires, your ambitions, your values. You start to notice these things and identify them way quicker. You'll start to develop a clear view of who you are, and that self-awareness will start impacting different areas of your life because you start becoming aware of your intention and what's behind every decision you make, every thought and feeling that you have. So every single person has habits, multiple habits throughout the day. Most people just aren't aware of all their habits. Nobody's aware of all their habits. I'm certainly not aware of all my habits. So maybe you have a habit that you've intentionally chosen, like every day you go for 30 minutes for a walk, or every Sunday is laundry day, right? That's an intentional habit that you've implemented into your life. But what about the habits that you didn't choose? What about the little habits that kind of slipped into your life passively, and you don't even notice when there's a cue, and then when you start to act on those habits? So for example, maybe you struggle with a habit that I've struggled with on and off for a long time, where in the morning you wake up, you stretch, you look over at your phone to check the time. So your intention was to check the time. Oh, it's 8:30 or whatever. And then you put your password in, you swipe right or whatever, and you open up your phone. And then, okay, let me just check my email real quick. Let me just open up Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat real quick. maybe you're looking at news or whatever. You didn't intend on doing that. But checking your time was the cue, and that cue set off a habit of you checking your phone, and then what happened? That led into you laying in bed for 30 minutes, scrolling through social media, starting your day off bad by the propaganda that the news inevitably puts out there. And you have a habit of every morning you're sitting there for 30 minutes. You didn't intend on that. Maybe you didn't even notice that. Maybe you're like me and it just kind of happens, and then you realize, oh crap, I'm late for work. Oh crap, I'm late for the gym. Right? Those are unintentional habits that you start to become more aware of. Now, digital minimalism is a different topic for a different video, but if you haven't yet, subscribe below to get notified when I do put that video out. And as you begin to implement this philosophy of minimalism into your day and in your life, you start to become aware of these little distractions throughout your day that act as cues that cause you to go into these unintentional habits, like this waking up in the morning and scrolling through your phone thing. And then these habits, these unintentional habits, distract you from the intentional habits, the things that you value most throughout your day. So most people, especially me, get to a point in their house where they have everything they need. And anything additional that you purchase ends up either being a slight convenience or clutter, and usually ends up being both. So for example, about a year ago maybe, I was out at the grocery store intending on buying something. And then I came across a little like contraption thing. And it was one of those things where you put vegetables inside of it and then you push down the thing and then it starts chopping up your vegetables. Right? So it's like hand powered. And so I was like, oh, this might be convenient. I use vegetables, I eat food, whatever. So I bought it, $15, brought it home, and then I showed it to my girlfriend and she's like, okay, like cool. I was like, yeah, it'll help us with like cutting up onions and stuff. And she's like, okay, well, like I'll use it when I see you use it. I'm just like, no, it'll help. It'll be cool. She's like, yeah. I'll use it when I see you use it. Long story short, I never ended up using it. I just sat there for like a year. And then just a couple days ago, I threw it in the plastic recycling bin and I threw it out because it didn't serve a purpose. I bought it spur of the moment. It was just an emotional thing. I'm just like, oh, that would be convenient. Let me buy that real quick. And it just didn't have a purpose. So once you've minimized your possessions down to the essential and like the valuable and the things that have a purpose to you, you realize I really don't need to buy anything else. And then your spending goes way down and your bank account starts going way up because you're no longer buying things because you're aware that you already have everything you need and anything else just becomes either a slight convenience or clutter. And that's going to reflect real nice in your bank account because now every purchase you make is intentional. It serves a purpose. It's not just a spur of the moment emotional reaction to a sale. And I'm a sucker for sales, so I know what I'm talking about. So a side effect of this philosophy of minimalism is improved financial management simply because you start to evaluate what you do with your money. Keep your money. So most of my working life, if I was offered overtime at work, I would take it. For me, even if I didn't have necessarily a need for money at the moment, I just thought, okay, 1.5 times pay, time and a half. I couldn't justify not doing it. I figured if I'm doing the same amount of work I usually do in an hour, but I'm getting paid 1.5 times what I usually get paid, that's a win, right? Like how could you resist? But these days, I never take overtime. I never accept overtime. Why? Because now I have my priorities and my values really dialed in to the point where I'm aware that for me, my job serves one purpose. It is to financially keep me stable, to afford a lifestyle where I don't have to worry about debt and how I'm going to pay for my rent and stuff and my bills and my expenses so that I can focus my free time on doing the things I enjoy, pursuing my goals, pursuing my passions, creating videos like the one you're watching right now. My priority is to be happy and fulfilled. So not only does working overtime makes me some more money. Cool, that's the one, check off the box. But not only does working overtime not provide me happiness or fulfillment, but it actually takes time and hours away from me doing stuff that does provide happiness and fulfillment for me. And so the improved understanding of my priorities and values not only makes decision making a lot easier, a lot quicker, a lot more effortless, but it then leaves more time for me to focus on doing what matters most to me. Which leads us into the next point. Improved mental health. Have you ever heard stories of these millionaires who completely changed their life and then downsized into a little small home? Or these people that had all the opportunity in the world for more fame, more celebrity status, more public recognition, and then they just gave it all up and then they moved to Africa or they completely disappeared from the public eye. What happened to these people? What did they go through? Because the media would call them crazy. But the truth is, they didn't go crazy. They went sane. Oftentimes, these people that get labeled as crazy, they actually left their crazy mindset. Because what's crazy was, and they realized this, what's crazy was them prioritizing mansions and cars and fancy clothes and being in the limelight and fame and public opinion and public approval. These things are crazy. And they realized that they were prioritizing things that didn't provide value to their life, and in the same time, neglecting and ignoring the things that do provide value in their life. And it was philosophies like minimalism, maybe it was essentialism, maybe it was just the understanding that I'm ignoring the things I love and putting all my attention on the things that don't matter, that caused them to make this change, which is very similar to the general philosophy of minimalism. It's usually the realization of what truly matters, the realization of what's really important, what really provides fulfillment, that caused them to give up the fancy cars, the mansion, the status, and all that stuff. They realized none of these things actually provide or bring value to their life. So maybe on a little bit of a smaller scale for you, definitely for me, where you get improved mental health by focusing on promoting the things in life that do matter and removing the things from your life that distract you from those things. So you know how when you create a to-do list, and as you're completing the things on your list, you're checking them off or stroking a line through them, and then as you complete your whole to-do list, there's this rush of a beautiful feeling inside of you. It just you feel good. There's this like hit of dopamine, right? Or you have a messy table, dirty dishes, you bring the dishes to the sink, you clean the dishes, go back to the table, you clean it up, reorganize things, and then boom, bang, it just there's this like good feeling that you get. It's a shot of dopamine to your system. That is the satisfaction of intentionality. So that little feeling of ecstasy is a result of you making a decision to do something, doing it, and sitting back and being like yeah, I did it. Like I accomplished that thing. And so when you put this philosophy into your life, every day gets sprinkled with these little like moments of ecstasy when you feel accomplished. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It's like I decided I wanted to mow the lawn. You mow the lawn, you complete it, and you feel good about it. So once again, the constant promotion of the things we value most and the constant removal of the things that distract us from it. And wait. Do you feel that? The satisfaction of intentionality is upon us. You just finished watching a video. I just finished creating the video. We're both feeling good. We're both feeling great. If you like this video, hit the like button below. It really helps. I appreciate that. If you want to see more future videos from me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification to get notified of future videos. And if you want to see more videos from me, go ahead and click the video right over here, and I'll see you over there. I appreciate you. Have yourself a great day. Peace.